Hello, welcome back to Reads of an Apple. My name is Stacy, and I am here to start my week 40 vlog for 2022. Now, I usually start these on the weekends. My weeks, I do Saturdays to Fridays. However, today, as I'm filming this, it is Monday, so happy Monday. There was a lot. I guess not a lot of things going on, but there was a lot mentally going on this weekend. So I didn't really get around to filming, but I did read quite a bit since the end of last week's vlog. So we have lots of updates to make, but outside of that, let's kind of try to go through stuff a little bit quickly since there is quite a bit. So first off, we will chat about the quest calendar. So I have been playing the 2022 quest calendar, which is the Gates of Terralon. This is a daily calendar based off of tabletop role-playing games like Dungeons & Dragons, Pathfinder, D20 based systems. So we've been doing quite a bit. So a brief rundown of the plot is, this is a world watcher, and we were tasked by one of these right before he died to collect the shards from the shattered gate to the demon world. And so we are going world to world, collecting these shards, hopefully to put the gate back together to the demon world, and I guess stop the implosion of the universe. I'm not 100% sure what happens if we fail, but that is where we are at. So we are trucking through this. We are playing as Savani Moonchaser. She is the monk class, and as you can tell, she is a feline race, so she is a cat person. And I love her. Okay, so quick rundown. Saturdays and Sundays, if this is your first time kind of seeing it, I'm sorry if you've seen my weekly vlogs. You've probably heard me go through this little blurb about the game for 40 weeks now. But here is what the calendar looks like. Saturdays and Sundays are combined. And then as you look at the day, you can see that this like cursive script type font, this will usually be the story that we read. And then anything that's in this block print, and it's usually in this square, that is the mechanics of what we have to do to play the game. And then all of our information is on the back of the previous day's page. So last Friday last week we ended up entering a new world, which is like a snow frozen world. I called it Not Hoth after Ice Planet Barbarians, and we got caught by some snow goblins, but we did manage to escape. So we are traversing on our own now. Ooh, oh yeah, this looks super fun. Super fun. Alrighty. So this is Saturdays and Sundays, as you can tell. You have been wandering in the cold and snow for a long time. A blizzard begins to pick up, and it becomes difficult to see where you are going. Navigating this weather proves particularly hard over the harsh terrain. So survive the blizzard. Roll a d20 plus wisdom. Reminder, survivalist, map and compass, and mount. And we have map and compass, which gives us a +2. We also have a mount, which gives us a +4. So that is a +6. And then our wisdom is a +3. So we are at a total of +9 for what we roll with our d20. And this is a part of the 7 dice set that came with the game, and as you can tell, they are very, very tiny. So like here is a normal size D6, and this is like smaller than that, but they're super cute. Alrighty, so let us see, we are at a +9. Natural 20, way to start off the week. Natural 20s do not really do much in this game because you don't really have a DM or anyone to think up something cool, but that is okay. It means most likely you will succeed. So we are at a 29. And if the result is 15 or more, you decide to make a shelter. You find a line of tall trees where the snow has built up tall drifts. You pack the snow down as much as you can and dig a snow cave. You seal up the door, add ventilation, and stay inside until the storm passes. You need to consume 2 meal rations. If you do not have enough, reduce your health by 1 for each one you do not have. And we are down to 3 meal rations, so we are officially down to 1. Where is my pen? What did I do with it? Got stuff everywhere here, so I'm just going to mark that now in case we might need to use one on the next page. And that is it. So that was this weekend's page. So let us see what today, Monday, brings. It's cool that we were able to build like a super elaborate what? Oh my gosh. This is so cool. Screw Elsa's castle. I want to live here. And it looks like either there's an ice dragon or the bones of a dragon, or it's just carved to look like a dragon. And we've got like an aurora borealis effect in the background. Oh my gosh, I love this. This is so cool. Oh my god. Oh. If any of you write fantasy romance, write me a story about a king that lives in here. I would love to read that. Okay. The blizzard eventually dies down and you find the entrance to a large ice palace. To get inside, you need to cross a slippery ice bridge over a chasm of sharp ice spikes. Alright, A is cross the ice bridge carefully, which is a dexterity roll, or B is cross the bridge quickly, which is another dexterity roll. The difference between them is danger sense and athlete. So Dex, we are Dex based as a monk character. We do have danger sense, which gives us a +2, and we also have athlete, which gives us another +2. However, we have a follower that gives us an extra +2 on top of that for athlete. I feel like our character would be more apt to take it carefully, but the +2 I feel like makes a difference. But I don't like to metagame as much as I can, so I feel like we'd be more careful than try to do it quickly. So, danger sense gives us a +2. Our dexterity is a +6. So we have a +8 to whatever we roll. And, okay, not bad. 15. So 23. Alrighty, if the result is 15 or more, you make your way across the bridge. It begins to crack. You drop to your belly to disperse your weight over a large surface area and then crawl across the bridge. You make it to the other side successfully. Cool. Cool, cool, cool. Alrighty, and that is it for today's quest calendar. Alrighty, so let me kind of clean stuff up here a little bit. Now, I am making this just in time. So today is October 3rd, and I have been participating in the, I guess it's a yearly challenge. Technically, it's a year and 1 month challenge, and it is held on the Romance Readers Reading Challenges group on Facebook, or not Facebook, on Goodreads. I need to grab my notes. So, what it is we are playing Yahtzee. It is the Yahtzee yearly challenge. Now, the normal prompts that you have, or I guess prompts, goals, I don't know, whatever you call them in Yahtzee, like 3 of a kind, 2s, full house, that kind of a stuff, Yahtzee. Those are turned into prompts. So each month, at the beginning of the month, you roll your 5 dice. Same rules apply. You can hold any you want, re-roll up to 3 times, or up to 3 rolls. So re-roll twice. And then depending on where you apply it for that round, each goal has a different prompt. If you miss your roll, you have until like the 25th of the preceding month to the 5th of that month to roll your dice. And then if you don't make it, there is like a bonus extra challenge of prompt so that you can use instead. I think you can also use it if you end up rolling and not being able to use what you roll for anything, but there is a chance goal as well. So we have to do our dice, and I will get my pen here so I can write down what we are rolling. Alrighty, and then actually before I do that, I need to unsteep my tea. I found a new tea strainer, and so it has it's a flower on the top. Oh gosh, I just dripped it all over the place. But what's cool about this is it comes with this little flower thing, but while it's steeping, let me see what I can do here. This fits on top, so you can cover it up and keep it steamy. And that's super cool, and I really liked the idea. But when I take it off, when I'm done steeping my tea, if I leave it on there the entire time, the entire bottom is still filled with condensation. So then I still need to like wipe it off or set it on a napkin or something. And if you are wondering, the tea I'm drinking tonight is 40 Winks. It's an Adagio loose leaf tea, and it is basically their take on the sleepy time tea. It's a chamomile based tea. And it's really good. I love Adagio teas. Also, I will link them down below. I saw this morning, I got an email. Their Halloween tea packs are out. I've gotten them before. They are super fun. I loved all 6 flavors. It's hard to pick what my favorite one is. Probably the kitty one, even though it has chocolate in it. If I remember, and then there's I think, is the kitty one the chocolate chai, I think? I don't know. And then there's a ghost one that has like coconut pieces in it, but like one of them is a monster mash and it has like little sugar googly eyes in it. And it's super fun. I'm debating if I want to get it or not. But I will link them down below. I love Adagio teas. It is pretty much the only tea I buy anymore, unless it's one of the specific holiday flavors that like Bigelow or Twinings releases. Or I find a super unique blend somewhere. But that is what I am drinking tonight, if you were wondering. Now, okay, so at the beginning of... when did this start? March. I picked 5 dice. I went with Pip style D6s. So I just picked 5 fun colors. So these are the dice we are rolling. So let us do our Yahtzee for the month. Come on. And we have not gotten Yahtzee yet. Okay. So 3, 2, 3, and a 6. Okay. So I'm keeping the 3s. So let me just write these down, because you do have to post in the Facebook group what you're doing. So I like to do mine in numerical order. So I'm going to get rid of the 6 and the 2. Alrighty. So those are those. Ooh. And 6s. Double 6s. Crazy. We have already done Full House. It's crazy that we still got doubles though, because I was hoping double 3s, but we got double 6s. Although in my brain I'm going double 3s, and I got 6s, and that's 3 doubled, so hey. Not exactly what I asked for. Okay, so another 3 and a 5. Alright, that's not bad. Alright, so another 3 and a 5. So we're close to Yahtzee, but we did not get one, so... okay, I have not done my 3s. The goals I have left are 3s, 4s, 5s, 6s. The Yahtzee and the chance. For the number ones, you have to get at least 3 to count. So like we needed 3 3s to use it for 3s. And that's a lot of 3s. I think it should have been 2, but just because there is also a 3 of a kind. But anyway, so we're going to use this for 3s. Let me just write down October 2022. Alrighty. And so the prompt is a 3-word title or third in a series. Which technically I have met this month already. But I have not rolled yet, but that is because I have read some books this weekend. So let me just check my notes on everything I wanted to touch base on. Okay, so let us talk what I read this weekend. Now, Friday night, after I filmed my wrap-up clip for last week, I did finish A Court of Rings and Ruin. 5 stars. Are we surprised? I loved this. I was crying, I was laughing, I was smiling at the end of this. I am very, very excited to get to Nesta's book. And I tried to see, I don't know, I asked a couple questions during the live show because I asked if I was kind of overreaching on, I mean, I feel like I'm picking up stuff about Nesta being depressed or having some sort of mental issues outside of, you know, accepting that her Fae life now and things like that. And I just, Jen or one of the people was like, oh, we'll touch base on that in A Court of Silver Flame. So I'm thinking I am guessing correctly about that because we didn't really touch base into it, but there is a lot in this book and we were trying to keep it to 2 hours. So, and then I also brought up how I was really frustrated with Feyre talking about pairing Azriel and Elaine. And so the vibes, it seems like, from other people, I guess that is a common pairing from the fans until Nesta's book came out. And now people are pairing Azriel with someone in Nesta's book, I guess. But somebody did say it feels like Sarah J. Maas is looking at potentially doing a rejected mate situation, which is fine as long as Lucien gets his HEA, because Lucien, oh, my poor Lucien, I don't know why, I have just such a freaking soft spot for him. But I mean, I loved it. Like I said, 5 stars. I'll gush about it more in my wrap up, but and this was a great way to end September, and I cannot wait to see what happens next, especially since I know that we're kind of switching POVs to Nesta. And I don't know who's in the novella that's in between them, so we'll see what happens. But 5 stars. I loved it. Okay. So that was my last book of September, and I read that and finished that on Friday. So I did not read anything Saturday, but Sunday I read my first book of 2022, of October, and that was Love, Laugh, Lick. This is by Kate Pryor. This is the first book in her Claws and Cubicles, so I decided to, because I have some time to kind of mood read whatever I want. And I know I want to read a lot of paranormal books this month, just for spookiness, and I need to read more paranormal and sci-fi books. But I was looking at some of the prompts, and we have the Love of the Night readathon coming up as well. But I wanted to try to save more of the paranormal prompts for trying to read those ones during that week. So I decided to look at some of the prompts that I had that weren't paranormal books that I had ideas for, so more the fantasy or contemporary or whatever other options. And this one was not the book I was planning on picking up because I was looking for a monster romance, and a lot of monster romances to me are fantasy romances, just because of the monsters that are usually dealt with. Although technically I know some people consider like werewolves and vampires monsters and creatures, but that's a whole other thing. I know there's a lot of blend between fantasy and paranormal, but I saw this on Kindle Unlimited, and this is a Lich Lord, and so there's not too much history, but from what you can kind of piece together, there was an apocalypse, an evil one, and he is now the evil Lord CEO of Evil Company or something like that. And so this is a monster office romance between the CEO, Lich, and his secretary, who's a human. I give this 3.5 stars. It was enjoyable. It was super quick. It was under 100 pages. Probably one of the better office romances I've read, and I'm not the biggest fan of office romance. So I was just kind of like along for the ride. He does have 3 appendages down below. And it was definitely kind of spicy. It wasn't necessarily titillating for me, but I can see how for some people this would be like high spice. But I enjoyed it for sure. I've never read a Lich, and it was also really interesting to kind of see her guessing what he was like under his robe, and then his actual body was something it's weird. It's a meld of different animals, and it was just weird. But I enjoyed it, like I said. It wasn't quite higher for me because I thought the heroine, like it was talking about how she is a really kick-ass secretary, but at the same time, she doesn't like have to do anything too much for him. And it talks about how she just does inventory and basically keeps his calendar. But then it talks about how she uses all these spreadsheets. And I guess you use spreadsheets for inventory and calendars. I guess you can, but I don't know. It just seems her character was just kind of weird. And she went from kind of having a crush on him to like full on 100% lust with him. And it just was like, whoa. So I just wish things were a little more fleshed out, and I felt like the heroine was a little immature. Her name was Lily, and I just didn't quite understand where she was coming from at times, or how she was just like, and I get it's a novella, it's supposed to be quick, but I just didn't really feel that previous connection that was talked about being there between them, and how she's had a crush on him and she's been intrigued by him, but I didn't really feel it. It was more like she just said it. But then when they finally, like the first time we see them in a room together and they're talking about just work stuff, I didn't feel that tension between them. So that's what was missing for me. But because I enjoyed myself so much. Oh, before I move on. Hi. For Fall in Love, I used this for 2021 release. For Bang in the Night, I use this for Skull on the cover. And for the Frank Sinatra song, if you have not seen my other info things, I am... Hi! Say hi! She just jumped in my lap here. I am doing theme songs. Last year I did Taylor Swift songs. This year I am doing Frank Sinatra songs, but I am choosing to narrow down his discography and only pick songs from the 5 Reprise Rarity compilation albums that were released in 2020 and 2021. So for this one, I chose Life's a Trippy Thing, and this is a duet between Frank Sinatra and Nancy Sinatra. And then for my Color Me Romantic Reading Challenge, which is also hosted, this is a quarterly challenge that is hosted on the same group, the Romance Readers Reading Challenges group, for green, and I use this just for the simple prompt green on the cover. So there's that. Then I just had to keep going, and I picked up the second book, which came out October 1st. So it came out Saturday, and I read this on Sunday. And this is The Orc from the Office. And this is Lily's friend Janice, who is an HR person. And it is her romance with a cinnamon roll, nerdy IT guy, but he's an orc. And I love this book. I give it 4.5 stars. Definitely my favorite of the two. So what happens is there's a stuck drawer in like a filing cabinet, and she's struggling on getting it open. And the entire time she's complaining about these people don't know how to, they shouldn't be touching my drawer. None of their files are in my filing cabinet. I don't know why they keep messing with my drawers and jamming it. And as an office person, I related so much to that. I'm like, why is my filing cabinet screwed up? What is happening? Oh my God. I really connected with her on that. But so he is walking by because he had to do some work on that floor for somebody, and he offers to open it, and she kind of shoves her way in, and she's like, no, you got to kind of lift it up and pull it, whatever special thing you have. And when it pops free, she ends up elbowing him in the nose, and he starts bleeding. And for orcs in this world, that initiates the mating bond when you draw blood. So they are accidental mates. Oh my gosh. And then they have to go deal with monster resources, not human resources. Oh my gosh. I was just like, it was all like corporate-y, and they have all of these like things of, well, you have to make sure you're not in the same division, but we know it's an accidental mating and not an intentional mating. And it was so good. Like I said, 4.5 stars. I did knock it a little bit because there was like a third act breakup kind of shoved into it. But then it was like over like that. But instead of it just being over like that, we went from she's second guessing herself, she has insecurities, which is fine, to next time she sees him, he's doing something on her floor in the office building. The fire alarm goes off. He freaks out because he's like, my mate's in danger. Fireman carries her and starts crawling down the outside of the building to avoid the rush of people going for the stairs. And then they end up stopping on like a larger window ledge, but not quite the size of a patio. And he claims her, and they like full on get it on the side of this building. And I didn't quite understand the physics. And I get it, he's an orc, and you kind of got to go with it. But just the fact that it was on the side of a building, and it's saying it's larger than a windowsill, but smaller than a patio, I was like, how are they doing this? How is it? And then they're like rubbing some special mating lube thing for orcs on each other. And I'm like, this seems incredibly dangerous, and you're like 4 stories up. But other than that, and her cutting stuff off, which is kind of predictable in this case, but I don't know, I loved it. I was laughing so hard because she starts looking up, I should not be talking about this book so long, but read the first one if you want. You don't have to read the first one to get this one, to enjoy this one. This one was good, and my favorite work romance I've ever read. I loved it, and I really hope Kate Pryor is writing more. She only has 3 books published, and one was earlier last year and it was a Regency romance, and then she has these 2 monster ones. So I enjoyed this orc one. For Fall in Love, I was able to use this for Cinnamon Roll Hero. And then for Bang in the Night, I use this for Beast Mode, which is read a monster romance. And then the Frank Sinatra song I chose was Moment to Moment. So I'll link that up above here if you want to listen to it. And then for Color Me Romantic, I use this for the color Indigo, and that is for a geeky, nerdy, brainy character. So he fits that to a T. And then I was still kind of feeling the funky novellas yesterday, so I picked up My Lonely Shifter Match by Sky Alder. And I actually found out at the end of this book, I didn't really look too much into it beforehand, but this is a writing duo of Cameron Hart and Shaw Hart. And I don't know Cameron Hart, but I recognize Shaw Hart's name. I may or may not have read one of her novellas before, but I know she does a lot of quick, like, insta-love novellas on KU. But this is Cliff and Honey. He and his 3 friends have just retired from the military, and they have bought a little plot of land and are building cabins in the forest up in Colorado, which was fun. And him and his bear are feeling very lonely, and there is a little bit of talk of re-entering society, and he doesn't know what he wants to do for a job and all that kind of stuff. But he is feeling very lonely, and he finds out from one of his friend's brothers, who is a wolf pack, who is the alpha of a wolf pack nearby, that they're to check out the Love Bites dating agency, which is the title of the series, of which this is the first book. And he ends up getting paired with a human named Honey. Now, Honey is getting kicked out within several days. She has like 3 or 4 days to get out of her apartment because she's behind on rent. And she just lost her job like 3 days ago. And she's been out on her own since she was 18 because she didn't have a good home life after her mother died. And she used to have a roommate, but she's behind in rent because her roommate basically stole most of her good things and left. And she's been trying to pay 2 people's rent. And so now she's behind, and it's this huge whole thing. So all of the bad things are happening to this lady. And some random person shows up and is like, I have the perfect dating thing for you. And basically convinces her to go meet him. She's like, what do you have to lose? And within 3 days, she knows that they're going to be together forever, and she is all on board, and they go at it during the mating moon. I gave this 3 stars. She is a curvy heroine, which I didn't even really realize, but that was cool. I don't know, like, it was interesting to kind of see, like, get the bear shifter military vet, but he's just a complete, like, softie, and he's lonely, and he just wants his mate, and he just wants to, like, make her happy. And he definitely was, like, beta, if not lower on the scale, because he just was such a freaking softie, and he was cute, and I really liked Cliff. There was some instances of one of the wolf's other brother who wanted the land, and they were leaving trash, like, from his pack. His young teenagers and stuff would come over and party on their land and leave trash everywhere or something like that. And then they were setting the forest on fire, and I'm just like, I didn't understand this. And then somehow unthinkingly, she sees the forest is on fire, and at this point, he has somehow within a day and a half gotten her this huge, beautiful gift of all of these beehives and bees, because she said her mom used to be a beekeeper and she loves honey, and because her name is Honey and she loves Winnie the Pooh, so he's like, I'm gonna buy you a bee colony. And I don't know. So it was kind of like a little much and a little overdone on everything. But it was fun. It was cute. I definitely didn't regret checking it out on KU, so 3 stars, super fun. I can see me picking up the other books for sure, but I just felt like we didn't really need that other conflict. We could have just kept it to them just... I would have more preferred, even though I usually prefer external conflict, I would have been more okay if the conflict was more her dealing with the fact that this is super quickly, and them kind of having more conversations on page of what it really means to be a mate and a shifter and that kind of a thing. Instead, she was just like, I don't know, this is weird. okay, I'm all in. So there's that. For Fall in Love, I use this for a man or woman in uniform romance. For Bang in the Night, I use this for Into the Woods, which is it's set in a wood or forest, and this is in a forest. And then because the heroine has one of those everything's wrong in her life, I chose the Frank Sinatra song Everything Happens to Me, which is kind of a snarky theme song on my take. And then for Color Me Romantic, I used it for the navy blue prompt, which one of those is a character that is in the military or a veteran. So that works perfect for that one. Now, those are the 3 books I read yesterday. And then tonight, once I'm done kind of filming and can get the rest of my stuff kind of cleaned up, I do plan on starting, I'm going back to fantasy romance, but I don't know what I did with my Kindle. Oh, here it is. It's under my purse. I found recently, so one of the Bang in the Night prompts is It's a Sign, which is it has to have something with astrology or tarot in it. And I found this series on KU. It is called Arcana of the Tarot. This first book came out in June of this year, and the first book is called The Fool and the Sparrow. And I didn't read too much in it, but I know the hero, his name is Kit, and he's called Kit the Fool, and then it mentions his sister, and one of them's the moon, and one of them's the high priestess. So they are, and he's from like an arcana world, and he enters Earth, and he ends up falling in love, I'm assuming, and teaming up with Thea, who is called a sparrow, and it actually has a sparrow, so I don't know if she's a shapeshifter, but it also talks about how she's like an assassin, and she used to work for like the Order or something like that. But I don't know, it was a fantasy romance, and I was interested to really kind of see how she does the tarot stuff. As you can tell, this is by, it does not say. Why do you not say? KU. Of course, I'm sure you can. I'm sitting here and you're like, we can see it on the cover. But, Dana Fox. So, I'm excited to try this and see how it is. Like I said, it's a fantasy romance, and I'm just feeling the fantasy and fantasy vibes for sure, but I definitely need to push myself to read more paranormal this month and for the rest of the year, as well as more sci-fi, because I have been heavy in my fantasy reads this year. But I will stop blabbering at you. That is all the updates I have from this weekend and today, and I will see you all tomorrow on Tuesday, and I hope you have a great day. Hello, happy Tuesday. I don't even remember what day it is anymore. Yes. Today is Tuesday. I don't have too much to update for today. Last night I did start. I did not get very far in The Fool and the Sparrow. I am only 15% in, so not too much has happened. I have spent most of the time in Kit's POV, who is the Fool, and let me tell you, the first couple chapters were very info dumpy, and I don't want this to come out sounding bad or being harsh, but it felt a little bit like the author was trying too hard to make it fantasy, because he's walking along a road and we point out this weird creature and this weird creature and this weird creature and oh, and this thing, but they all have weird fantasy names, and then we have to describe them, but they don't really have a point in the story yet. And it's not like like if it was one or like one, like he's walking by and the frog or the amphibian creature, whatever's making sounds. But it felt like, I don't know, ramming down the gullet that this is a fantasy. Things are weird in this world. And I was just like, and it was very info dumpy. And I was just like, oh my gosh. So I found myself kind of skimming those parts because it just felt like information overload a little bit. And usually I'm like, I notice when things are info dumpy, but it doesn't like bother me as much as it does other people, it seems like. But this one, it just, I don't know, that paired with some interesting writing. And here is where so the premise, at least of this fantasy world, the Arcana universe dimension, I don't know exactly what it is it goes through, and this is very heavily tarot based and centric, at least in the beginning. So there are the 22 major personalities, and they are their divine beings and embodiments of their cards. And then there are also all of the minor suits. So there's a full 78 people in this dimension. And that is it. One for each tarot card. And it's cool. And objectively, I'm like, oh, that's really interesting. But they're also, it talks about how, you know, they live and they embodied these things and they work together. But then Kit refers to a lot of them as brother and sister, and that they're all family. But then there's kind of hints that maybe other people might be getting together, and I'm like, yeah, that's a little weird. Like, either have them not be related or have some of them be related. And like, everybody has, and I get it, like, especially with the major arcanas, going from 0, the Fool, through, you know, 22 it is the Fool's journey. And there is a lot of talk about how he kind of gets forgotten or treated less than, but you wouldn't have all of these other steps and experiences in life and things to deal with and to delve into without that first initial spark of the Fool to take that journey, whether it's physically or emotionally or spiritually or whatever journey you're taking or work you're trying to do. So I did like that, because I do feel like the Fool, at least when I hear a lot of people talk about the Fool, especially when I'm hearing like, I feel like some people, and maybe it's just the people that I've surrounded myself with in the tarot community, they like forget the positives of the Fool, and really that he is the impetus that starts the journey, so to speak. So that part I thought was really cool. It was a little too, I don't know, like heavy-handed with it though. Like, I get it. And then he's walking to one of the parties, some sort of divine party for them, for some sort of special holiday. And it's like, oh, these people treat him like a child or treat him less than because he's card 0. And then, oh, these people just want to hear stories from him and he's card 0. And he's feeling kind of a sense of loss of self. And he is worried he is going through a reversal. And let me see if I can find it. He's worried about reversals. And so these divine beings can, I guess, they affect Earth. And I'm not 100% sure how or why, because there are nights, which is what's happening during this party, when the, like, I don't know, I'm going to call it veil, because that's what it seems like to me. The veil between Earth and this Arcana dimension is the thinnest, and so the Arcana people can go into Earth, and it's common, and they go into Earth all the time, and he talks about how he's had many adventures in Earth over the times, and he's seen them be created, and he's seen the cavemen and all different evolutions of them. And it's interesting that they talk about the reversals, and when a tarot persona in this dimension is going through a reversal, the effects happen in Earth negatively. I don't know. It's just a little bit too much, I think, I feel like maybe why it felt even more so info dumpy to me is because I am someone who is familiar with the tarot, and so going into depth on the character archetype and what they do, and then it's like, oh, the high priestess looks at him and he gets these, or not the high priestess, the moon, his sister, who's the moon, looks at him, and he gets these flashes and these feelings, and he doesn't know what to do with them, and he talks to the high priestess sister because she's the only one that can solve the things that the moon says, and she just reiterates and points out that the moon is there to kind of light those things that you haven't been dealing with, and and it goes into what the moon means, and I'm the high priestess, so I'm here to help you solve these and be your spiritual and inner and your subconscious guide, and then but while he's going to her, he's talking about how she is this thing, and so it was just like reiterated over and over again, like you're trying to teach someone the cards and get them to remember it, but being as someone who is familiar with the cards, I was just kind of like, yeah, I know. And while this is inherently good, and so far I haven't seen anything that's like glaringly, I don't like that. There are moments where I was trying to see if I could find what he said, but he talks about how like somebody went through a reversal and something happened, but I'm not going to worry about it. It's something like all of Earth was going to drown or something like that because one card went through a reversal or something crazy, like, whoa. But anyway, so I lost my train of thought and I'm really sorry. Okay, so as someone who knows tarot cards, and I wouldn't say I'm an expert, but I do know enough that I can look at most, especially the major arcanas, and get a sense of what they are and intuitively read them. And while there is overall the most common ways to read cards and the most, I don't know, based on the symbolisms and stuff of the original wider weight Smith deck, there is, I wouldn't say the right way to, but the like more commonly used or accepted way to interpret what cards could mean. And while that is true, and it is not wrong, there is, especially I feel like in the last year or two, definitely been a push to make the cards more expansive, and there have been a lot, and there's always been a lot, but I have seen a lot more of the like Rider-Waite Smith clone decks, where, or at least Rider-Waite Smith system-based decks, but with different symbology and different kind of meanings and different interpretations, and not always having the symbolism. And if I'm reading cards and the way that a card is typically interpreted isn't how I would typically interpret it. Or it's something where I just dislike that is the meaning that's associated with this card when it goes so much deeper and there's so much more. And so like one card, I want to say it's the Five of Swords, but it's the one with the guy that's like sneaky and he looks like he's trying to pick up all these swords on a battlefield or something like that. I think is the original RWS one. I don't actually have an original RWS deck. I would like one at some point, but I don't own one because that one's usually free in a lot of the apps. So I have digital versions of that one that I pull with. But to me, I don't see it like it can be sneaky. I can see that as being sneaky, and maybe this is just the influence of Wildly Tarot podcast, but I typically look at that as, taking advantage of situations. And I mean, you can take advantages in good ways and you can take advantages in bad ways. And so it's not necessarily being sneaky and deceitful just because he's picking up swords in a battlefield. So, it's like that little thing. And when I see tarot decks that stick to that, like when they create new artwork and they stick to that sneaky, deceptive meaning, I just want to be like, there's more to that card than just that. And remember that people use these cards and this artwork to trigger their intuition and read things in different ways. And so there does have to be a little bit of fluidity, I feel like, in the way that these archetypes are portrayed, if that makes sense. And maybe this is a downside being a more advanced reader and not someone who's either new to tarot or just interested in tarot. And maybe it is because it's the beginning of the book and she's like trying to get everything set up. And while I appreciate, and then here's the other thing. I know from the blurb and from the fact that Kit, at the end of the chapter of the setup stuff before we switch to Thea's POV, and he walks through the veil and he's going to be on Earth, and I'm pretty sure most of the rest of this book is going to be set in Earth. So really, we didn't need all of this info dumpy setup of this other dimension. It could have been basic setup, touch on the major details, and then as he's traveling with Thea and they're kind of being forced to work together and stuff, that then they can discuss or go into what his dimension is like. And if they end up in that dimension, explore those things then and not info dump me in the first, because I will tell you, I am not going to be remembering any of these random creature names if we come across them again. So there's that. And like different, names for this whole party that he was doing. He could have, like the author could have used one that is typically used in witchcraft or Wiccan or just tarot practices, one of the equinoxes, like Mabon, like one of the dates in the Wheel of Time, like to specifically choose a different name for this time of year and this celebration that is just a complete random fantasy word. I don't know. So it's like, and that's maybe why I was a little with it, because if you're going to keep strict so much to the typical tarot stereotypes and then try to put them in a completely fantasy world, I feel like it just felt like too separate. Like it didn't feel blended very well. And that was my long ramble about why the first few chapters of this book were frustrating for me, but I finally, after all that talking, got to my point. I need to be better at finding my point and just telling you my point instead of you seeing me work through a 10-minute process of me coming to the point. But That's what it is. That's what it is. But maybe that's why I started doing this, is so I can talk things out in my head and figure them out. And, you know, when I started my review blog, that really helped me kind of start narrowing down things that I like and things that I really enjoyed, and it really helped me. Now, my reviews aren't super in-depth. I try to keep them to 2 paragraphs of the actual review, but yeah, so that's where I am. We will see how much further I get in this tonight. So now that I have rambled at you for 10 minutes longer than I expected to, let us do the quest calendar. I'm gonna take a drink. I'm gonna take a tea. I'm gonna take a drink of tea. Tonight I made the Adagio Halloween tea. I did have a couple of flavors left of this one, and this is the Bat Brew, I think is what it's called. It's the Bat one, and it's really good. It's a black tea and it has, I don't remember the full notes on it, but it has some caramel notes to it. And it just smelled good. So, yesterday we found this fun temple, and we did make it across the bridge successfully, and the bridge cracked, but it did not break. Of course, I went on a super longer than I expected rant, so what do we have? A map. Alright, the Ice Palace. So typically we start at the S, which is hard to tell backwards, so we are here. And then we will travel through the rooms until we get to the star. So let me read the description and then we'll get going. The outside of the palace looks like a large, elegant home, but it is just a facade. The inside is far smaller. You will have a hard time moving around a place made of pure ice. Navigate the dungeon like a maze. Begin at the S for start and make your way to the ends labeled with a star. Alexa, dismiss. Resolve each room you visit before choosing your next. Okay, so we're obviously going to start in room 1 because we are here at the S, so immediately we will enter room 1, and then I think I'm going to come across here and we'll look at room 3. And then, okay, so we'll look in room 3, and then we'll come down and we'll look down here in room 4, and then we'll go back up and we'll look in room 5, then room 2, and then across to the star. So that is the order we will be going in. So starting with room number 1. The first room you enter appears to be a sitting room. Everything is made of snow or ice, even the chairs, chandelier, tables, and sofas. There are ice sculptures located about randomly. So roll a d20 plus intellect, reminder, investigator. We do not have investigator, so it is just an intellect roll. And we have a 0. So that'll be fun. Okay. And that is a 19. So that is good. That is good. Okay. So if the result is 15 or more, everything is made of ice except for the statues. These were once adventurers that came to this place, but were frozen by some magical means. Okay, so we will be careful. Okay. All right, and then we will look into room 3. This room is warmer than the others. Steam rises from a heated pool that is sunken into the floor. Do you choose to enter? I'm going to say no. I'm going to say no. Me as a person, if we were staying here, yes, but no. All right, so then to the bottom, to room number 4. You enter the room to find a steep ledge that slides down to a pit of ice bears. It looks like they are kept for both meat and perhaps to deal with intruders. They must be starving, as you can see some are gathered around and are eating the corpse of another. You will need to traverse slowly on the edge. Okay. So, all right, so this edge is this blue part. So we got the description for this room. So before we completely go down it, I'm going to come and see what it looks like on this side, and then we will decide which route we want to take down. So, number 5. You enter the room to find a steep ledge that slides down to a pit of spikes. You wonder how anyone could put a walkway here without a safe means to cross. You will need to traverse slowly on the edge. I'm going to take this room down because I'd rather face potential spikes than being mauled by bears. So we will do room number 5 to take it to the other end of the hall. So a dexterity roll, and that is it. So a +6, and that is an 8. So 14. I don't know, a lot of times things have to be 15. Oh, okay. If the result is 11 or more, so we are good. You slowly and calmly make your way by sticking close to the wall. Cool. Cool. Okay, room number 2. This room contains the Terralong Gate to get out of the ice world. You are shocked to discover there is no guardian. However, now that you are close, your transference sensor indicates a separate, weaker signal. The shard of the Demon Gate must be around the palace somewhere. Okay, and that is it. So we have made it. So, once again, we started here. We looked into this main sitting room. This is where the bath was. Here are all the little bears. You can see the little white spots. And then the top, these are all the spikes. So we took this route. And here is where the Terralong Gate is. And then in here is where we have ended. So we will deal with whatever is in this room come tomorrow. So that is it. Actually, not too bad for it being a full-on maze. And that is all I have for you. So tomorrow is Wednesday, and I hope you have a great day, and I will see you all tomorrow. Hello, Rinks and I are here to make an update. Hey, sweet girl. Yeah. So I don't have too much for today. I ended up not reading very much of The Fool and the Sparrow. The Sparrow and the Fool. One of those two. The Fool and the Sparrow. I am at 32%. Things are happening, but I'm just still, my knee-jerk reaction is it's a 2-star. Do I keep reading this? But I think if I look at it objectively, maybe it's more of a 2.5 stars for me. Rinks, she doesn't want to play with you. She's an old lady kitty. Oh my gosh. But I'm intrigued to see once we get into the full plot of what is actually going on. I'm gonna wait, and if I end up DNFing it, I want to get at least 50%, and if I get to at least 50%, then I will count it for my Bang in the Night bingo, which is the main reason I picked it up outside of it seeming interesting to me because of the tarot based. But Kit shows up and he meets Thea, and I guess technically this happened yesterday, but I didn't chat about it. And so they're hooked up, and he had actually found her when she was a young child, 2 or 3 years old, and took her to the authorities, who then took her to an orphanage youth house kind of a thing. And then what's being called the Order came to basically adopt her, but basically turned her into, I mean, think Black Widow. If you've seen the Black Widow movies, she's been turned into like spy, but more than that, like she's at times been, required to be more of like an escort or do feminine duties, as they call it, to learn secrets from high-powered people. And it is an order that is around the world that basically uses, manipulates, and helps keep those in power in power. And so she has some sort of flash drive on her that she's trying to make a contact with somebody who can then get their contact, who can then send her to another contact for a place where you can leak information to the media in a more safe manner. And so, like, it's intriguing, right? My biggest issue is the writing. I mean, she's trying to be snarky and badass, but the way that she's writing sounds like, like that snarky teenager who thinks he's cooler than he is. And so I think it's just the writing style. And usually that doesn't bother me if the story is good enough, but I don't know. It's just almost too juvenile. Or I don't know. I feel like this could have gone through another round of edits. There's been a few times where like something is repeated over and over again. And oh my gosh, one thing that really drove me nuts is when she first meets Kit and they're talking. He's talking to her in English. Like, they can understand each other. They're talking to each other. And then in the middle of his conversation, he just randomly says a word in his whatever native language from the Arcana realm. And she's like, what is that? And he's like, oh, that's my native language or whatever. And then he does that. Like, it's one thing if she asks him a question and he's pondering, or if he's not like present in the moment and then he answers in his language because he's like going back to like a default or something like that. But you are actively conversing with someone back and forth, no pondering, and every once in a while you'll throw in, like, instead of saying yes, he'll say yes in his language. But he knows she doesn't know that language, especially after it was pointed out the first time. And then he did it like 3 or 4 times in the same conversation. And I'm just like, what are we doing? So I don't know. I'm going to try to keep pushing. The problem is I've been going to bed late and I haven't, and then I went to bed later than I wanted yesterday, but I still was asleep earlier than I have been because my sleep schedule is all screwed up because of just stress and everything going on. So I will say one thing, as soon as I pick up this book, I'd rather go to sleep. So I guess that's helping, but that sounds mean, but it's more just like, because it isn't enthralling me. It isn't pulling me in where I can't put it down. But I'm going to keep trekking. I'm going to hopefully get to at least 50% tonight. I figured if I at least get 15%, that puts me in the 45 range. So I'm going to push and try to get to 50% and hopefully kind of see where we're going. And then we will see. But right now, I want to say 2-star, but that seems a little harsh to me because I feel like the overarching idea is good. It's just the execution at this point for me. So I think I'm sitting at a 2.5, but we'll see if things kind of pick up. So there is my longer than I expected rant about this book. So let's just do the quest calendar. Hi. Why are you grunting at me? Yeah, she's upset because Rinks was kissing her and trying to play with her, and she's a little old lady kitty. I pulled this without showing you. So yesterday we looked at the Ice Palace, and today, we have a weird floating guy. We got all those eyeballs. He is creepy. He's cool, but he's creepy. All right. His teeth are crazy. Okay. You enter a throne room and find a large floating beast with multiple sinister eyes. It smiles as it waits for you to approach. Greetings, World Watcher. I hope your journey thus far has been pleasant. I knew you would come for this. The creature holds up the gate shard. I will leave it to you so that you can continue to restore the gates. But first, I would like to request your assistance in dealing with a difficult problem in my world. Hear the creature's proposal. Okay? Okay, let's look at our other page here. You are not the World Watcher I recall meeting many years ago. I hope that nothing ill has befallen the old Watcher. Regardless, I trust you will take the mantle as the new Watcher and continue protecting the realms. My apologies. I should have introduced myself. I am Ta Zul'Dan. You may have noticed there's no guardian to protect the gate. I found the gate buried in the ice with the guardian merely a skeleton. I have since taken it upon myself to rebuild this palace and act as guardian. As I mentioned, there is a problem I need your help with. I do my best to keep to myself and guard the gate. However, the citizens in the city of Fro-Ilgur view me as a monster and blame me for numerous atrocities. I am even cursed for bringing the harsh snow and winter. They send countless adventurers after me. The priestess in the city is the one to blame. She spreads lies and organizes the citizens against me. She is the evil tyrant. She conjures minions of ice to do her bidding. She even has a prison to torture the subjects of the city. Yet somehow, I am the one viewed as the evil monster. Go to the city and see for yourself. Uncover her secret, and if you can, remove her from her position of power. Do this, and the gate shard shall be yours. Okay, so what does your intuition tell you about Ta Zul'Dan's story? Roll a d20 plus your wisdom. And our wisdom is a +3, so we are going to roll our d20. Good roll, good roll, good roll. Okay. It is a 12. So we are at a 15. Let's see. Okay. If the result is a 15 or more, Ta Zul'Dan tells a good story and seems to be helpful. He claims to know about the World Watcher, but something doesn't sit right with you. For now, he is only offering a fair trade. You will trust Ta Zul'Dan until you find a reason not to. Wow. Okay, this is fun. This is different. I'm enjoying this. Okay. We are going crazy now. Interesting. I'm excited to go down to this town. What is it? Fro-Ilgur. It's Fro''Ilgur. Fro-Ilgur. And meet this high priestess. Or priestess. She's not a high priestess. That's tarot. She's just a priestess, but okay, fun. Cool. I'm excited to see what happens with that tomorrow. But I will see you all very soon, and I hope you have a good Thursday. Happy Thursday. It is just after 9 o'clock, and I figured I would do my update. The Avalanche, oh my gosh, there's another, not the Avalanche. The Broncos are playing right now, as you can tell from my jersey and my earrings. There's another freaking injured player. Oh my gosh. This game has had so many injured players, and we came into this game freaking injured. We are winning right now 9-6, and there is like 3.5 minutes left, so. And that sucks that the guy that they're toting off is Derek Bowles, because he is one of the only good offensive linemen we have left. Oh gosh, it's just not their year. It hasn't been their year, but it's just not the year. But anyway, I have some fun things to do. So let me kind of grab some stuff here. I will say, because it's Thursday, and Thursday Night Football is now on Amazon Prime, and this is the first time I'm watching it, because I usually just watch Broncos games and then the Super Bowl. So I actually like the way that they're doing this. And I have to say, there were times on the CBS app, the Paramount Plus app, when I was watching the games on the weekends, and maybe it's because it's the weekends and tonight's a Thursday, but there would be quite a few times where it'd get all like pixelated and blurry and stuff, and I haven't had an issue at all tonight. So whatever cameras, whatever streaming power that Amazon has behind it, I am happy. So I think the presentation of the product is really well done, despite the fact that it's the Colts and Broncos, who are both not doing so well this year, but that's okay. Anyway, I do have a couple fun things to show you. So today I got the Marvel Magic of Marvel Oracle deck. I had pre-ordered this. I don't even remember when the original release date is from, but when I pre-ordered the paperback from Barnes & Noble of A Court of Silver Flames, I needed more to get free shipping on my order, and they were doing their pre-order sale, so I was looking for other books I could pre-order, but I only try to pre-order books from Barnes & Nobles that have Barnes & Noble exclusive editions. I have my local bookstores and some online places that I prefer to get my normal pre-orders into. And I was looking at all the books, and nothing that I really wanted was up yet for pre-order. And then I was like, I know, I'll look at their tarot cards. And this was up for pre-order. So this came out recently, probably a week ago, since that seems to be about the case with Barnes & Noble, as I get them a week after. And this is not a tarot deck. This is an oracle deck. I only have one or two other oracle decks, and so I thought I'd just kind of show you. And I'm very excited. And with it being a new kind of deck that I've never really done much with things like oracle decks and Lenormands, I tend to try to get one that has something that I would easily connect to. And I'm a huge Marvel fan, so I feel like I would get a lot of nuances from this that I might not have from just an unbranded one or just an artwork one if being new to it. But it is a two-piece. Look at the inside of it. Look at that. That's so pretty. And then we've got that and our pull ribbon, and there's our guidebook. I'm excited. And this is published by Insight Editions. And if I remember correctly, they've been doing a lot of, I don't know if it's them, I feel like it's them, but there's been a lot of like Disney based decks out. Like there's a Hocus Pocus tarot deck that's come out. There's okay, so this is just a very simple guidebook. We've got the basics of introduction, unleashing your deck, and then we've got the cards. So it looks like most of this, so from here all the way to here, so I'll just flip to one. So there's Domino and Doctor Strange, so that tells you the cards, and it looks like they're in alphabetical order. And then at the back, prepare for the reading, so selecting a spread, reading for yourself, reading for someone else, and then they've got 1, 2, 3, 4 sample spreads, and then the copyright information. So a pretty decent, ooh, look, Storm on the back. At least I'm assuming that's Storm. I'm guessing that's Storm. That looks like one of the X-Men outfits, but I don't know. I'm excited. So, ooh, oh, interesting. Yeah, this is definitely giving me Sanctum Sanctorum vibes. So that is the back of the cards. And then here are these guys. So we've got America, Aunt May. I'm just going to kind of go Black Panther, Black Widow, Captain Marvel, Deadpool. Deadpool's is, I'm just here for the snacks. So great. Doctor Doom. Okay, so there are villains in here as well. Dr. Octopus, Doctor Strange, Domino, Emma Frost, Ghost Rider, Hawkeye, Hela, Howard the Duck, of course, Hulk, Iron Man, Jubilee, Jubilee, Kitty Pryde, Lockjaw, Loki. His is care to discover your glorious purpose. Oh, I like that. That's cool. Misty Knight, Moon Knight. Ooh, look at Moon Knight's card. I love it. His is It's Never Too Late for a Second Chance. Ms. Marvel, Mystique. Ooh, I love Mystiques. That's really cool. What You See Is Never What You Get. Nick Fury, Nightcrawler, Rogue and Gambit. They're the lovers. Let love in. They're like the love card, I guess. Super fun. Ugh, I love Gambit. Ronan the Accuser, the Runaways. My favorite, Scarlet Witch. Oh, she looks badass. I love it. She-Hulk, Shuri, Spectrum, Spider-Man. Oh, speaking of, the new episode of She-Hulk came out tonight. I'll have to watch it tomorrow. Squirrel Girl. Yep, that was Storm on the back. Ugh. Thanos, Thor, Valkyrie, Venom, Wiccan, Winter Soldier, and Wolverine. So, hey, we'll show you the last one, Wolverine. So that's a good I know most of these characters. There's only a couple that I know of their names, but I'm not super duper familiar with. So that's perfect because I feel like I could do some pretty good readings with these. But yeah, I'm super excited. I don't get Oracle decks too super often. I'm definitely interested. I know there's a lot of times where you can combine Oracle and Tarot and do like pull a Tarot major card and then pull Oracles to kind of give more information and stuff like that. So I'm definitely interested in getting more Oracle cards into my routine, but that's not really in at the top front of what I have available to me now, but I'm excited that came. But what I was trying to say is there's like a Disney Villains, I think, tarot deck that's coming out, and there's a lot of branded tarot and oracle decks that I've noticed have been coming out, and one of them I have pre-ordered that comes out in, I think, January, and it's a Buffy the Vampire Slayer tarot deck, and I've been thinking about a Buffy tarot deck for a while, and in my head I kind of have people and scenes paired up with different cards, so we will see when it comes out how whoever is putting it together put it together. But I am a Buffy stan, and I cannot wait for that tarot deck. I'm very excited for it. And the other exciting news is I got my fandom monthly box. So this is Kal-El, K-A-L-E-L-L-E. I'll link it down below. And they have been kind of a little bit on hiatus for a while. There was a lot of problems with them being able to get items for the box, or where they'd have most of them, or they were there and they were stuck in customs, and so, you know, just supply chain issues like everybody was having. But she finally got everything for this one, and she said that they have, and then so she announced that they were being mailed soon. And then I also got an email the other day that they're doing the last 3 months, and they're kind of hoping to kind of get things back on track. It is, I think, around $25. That's what I put in my budget, is $25. I think it's a little bit less than that. But she picks a fandom. There's usually jewelry, a magnet, an art card, and some other kind of fun things. Most of my fandom-based jewelry that you'll see me wear are from Kal-El. I love her products. They are super fun. I'm trying to remember what the email said. October was, I want to say Tangled. And then November just had a picture of Princess Leia. So I don't know if it's specifically Princess Leia or if it's just Star Wars or if it's Rebels, or because I know like with Andor and stuff. Oh my gosh. Another 2 people are injured in this game and there's still only a minute left. This game is crazy. And then December's Nightmare Before Christmas. So if any of those are fandoms you enjoy, definitely check her out. Like I said, I will link her down below. So let us see what's in here. Woo! I'm super excited. It has been so long since I've had a fandom, a Kal-El fandom monthly box. And it's perfect. Oh, it's Addams Family. I totally forgot it's Addams Family. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I'm going to put something over this. So this is the card on the back of this will be the items that are in the packaging. I like to wait and look at it till afterwards, and I love, she usually does like a photo printed from whatever fandom it is with the information on the back, and I have turned most of those into magnets because I think they're super fun. And then she always has an art print, and she has this gorgeous like watercolor type style. And so here is, oh my gosh, it's so pretty. This is Wednesday. And I'm going to leave it in its protective case. But look at that. Isn't that gorgeous with the little splatterings? Oh, that's so pretty. I love it. Okay, so let's see. I'm very excited. It has been so long. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I'm so excited. Okay, tissue paper down. Okay, so we will start with what's not all combined first. So there is jewelry. Oh, and there's usually an enamel pin. And she designs most of these herself. So in this first one, we have a magnet. And she used to do little photo magnets, but she did announce with, I want to say the Toy Story one, that the magnets were changing. So it's Cousin It, and it is like a rubbery type, and it's very thick. So we'll see how well it actually holds up. I feel like this magnet might not be strong enough to also hold up like papers or something, but he is super cute. I love the Fat Addams Family. I have the entire original TV series on DVD. So okay, alrighty, and here is the enamel pin. Oh my gosh. Morticia and Gomez. Look at them. I love it. This would be a good one that would also work for like Valentine's Day too. I love them. Ugh, they're so good. Alright, and then this looks like a keychain. Okay, so this is also a similar kind of rubbery material. It's Lurchin thing. Oh my gosh. I love it. I love it. It is a little bit wibbly wobbly, but I can see like the rubber breaking at the top very easily because I'm a little bit hard on my keychains, but I might have to stick him on my key ring right now to have during the rest of the month. Oh my gosh. So there is a zippered bag. It's black. And it says, "I'll stop wearing black when they make darker colors." This is a really nice quality. It is lined. It does have like satin-esque lining on the inside. Super fun. So yeah, there's a lot of usually a few extra items outside of the normal. There's usually earrings and a necklace, and then a bracelet of some kind, and then the enamel pin, usually a magnet, and then there's usually 2 or 3, maybe even 4 other items outside of the 2 art prints as well. So here is, it always comes in these little organza bags. So here is the jewelry. So I'm trying not to spoil myself because I love this. All right. So here are the earrings, and I'm going to take them out because they are immediately going on in my earrings. Oh my gosh. Oh. So here are the earrings. These are roses, but they're velvet lined, and in the camera they're a lot brighter than what they actually are. And then the like black stones are gorgeous. All right, and then it comes with these types of backs, which is my least favorite back. They always tend to pinch my lobes, but I buy bulk backs of the ones that I like. So, and then we will pop my Broncos. There's 13 seconds left and they're still up 9-6. So I'm guessing they're going to win. But, all right, I'm going to put this one in just so I can see how it sits normally. Now, it doesn't feel very heavy, but it does like weigh itself down a little bit. That's cool. That's really... See, I love her stuff. It's always super unique. So those are the earrings. And then this looks like a bracelet. I'm not the biggest bracelet wearer. I try to wear bracelets more often, but I haven't found a way to like store them easily so I can pick them. So this looks like it is felt lined leather or maybe pleather. And it says, "I am not perky." And then it's just a snap. So, and she does usually, like, I have really thick wrists. Like, my wrist bones are really thick. But most of the time, they're adjustable. And they fit really well. So this is like a tight, there isn't too much space. But it's interesting that the "I am not perky" is right like against the clasp. Oh, there's a little like stone in the clasp as well. But cute. Cute. That's not like super obvious. That's one thing. A lot of her bracelets and stuff and jewelry aren't always super obvious, or like it'll be like just the silver bangles that are adjustable with just like a quote etched into it. And then some of them are like, usually her necklaces are super duper obvious, but her bracelets usually tend to be a little more understated, which is pretty. So, okay. And here is, oh my gosh, it's got, so the necklace, I'm going to do this. And it's a mirror. Oh my gosh. It is a coffin. And it says Caramia Mongere. Oh, it's so pretty. All right. This is all weird because it's trying to mirror things at you. So there we go. There's the words. Oh, I love it. I love it. It's not like overly, like people would just look at it and just think it's a funky coffinish shape, but it's not like obviously coffin. And I love it. And she does also have fairly decent chains, but they are pretty short. So I do have a couple really long chains that I like to switch these out for, but they are decent chains that hold up really well. They're just a little short for my preference. I like my necklaces to come a little bit lower, but oh, I love it. I love it. So there is the Addams Family box. And then I will read you what she calls stuff from the back. Okay, so a Morticia and Gomez necklace, which is a Cal-L exclusive. So some of these items you can find on her website for sale later on, and some of them are monthly Bach exclusive. I Am Not Perky Wednesday bracelet, which is also a Cal-L exclusive. Red Rose Morticia earrings, Lurch keychain, so everybody got the same Lurch keychain. Cousin It magnet, Wednesday inspired makeup pouch, Addams Family pin, and a 4x6 art print. So yeah, there is Addams Family. That was so fun, and that was perfect for spoopy season. Okay. And that is outside of those, let me just abruptly shift gears on you here. Shift gears. I don't know what I just said. I'm 42% into, what is this book called? The Fool and the Sparrow. And it got a little bit political. And when she's talking about Earth and women's rights and stuff, and I get it. But at the same time, I'm just like, and they are still in, wait, are they going to overtime? A thing just popped up that said overtime rules. Did the Colts score a freaking field goal with 13 seconds left? McManus is out there for the coin toss. He's our kicker. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I guess it's going into overtime. All right, that's crazy. With no touchdowns, 9-9. We're going into overtime. All right, but I can't even remember. So I feel like I'm partly disappointed too because it sounds like we're spending most of our time in Earth at this point. We're still on Earth, and as a fantasy, I was kind of hoping it'd be more, and I know it said that he comes to Earth, but it was left, well, it says he is on a journey, I guess. So part of me thought that maybe reading the blurb that maybe she enters his realm or something like that, but I don't know, maybe they'll both end up entering the Arcana realm, but I don't know, it's still not the best written, and he's starting to have feelings for her, and then suddenly he gets a hard on, and then he's kind of like confused, and it just seems very, I don't know, stilted at times, and I'm not feeling the connection with myself to them, and I'm not really feeling an emotional connection between them, even if it's just cordialness or niceties or her thinking, okay, having this immortal being with me will help my situation. And it's just not, I don't know. I'm at the point where I'm like, I just need to finish it so I can move on to something else. And maybe I should DNF it. But I usually don't DNF books unless it's really upsetting me. And I'm more just disappointed. But we will see. I'm hoping I will read a little bit tonight. I was going to edit tonight and my computer needed to update and stuff. And I was just like, fine, whatever. I'll worry about it tomorrow. So my wrap up might be going up a day later, depending on if it does it in time tomorrow night. But anyway, that is that. We'll see how much farther I get tonight. But at this point, I get anywhere from like 9 to 15% a night. So this is very slow going. All right. So we will end this clip because I've been talking a while and I'm ready for bed. So yesterday, we chatted with this floating eye monster dude, and he tasked us with heading into town. So, I'm assuming we're going to get a map? Yes. So, to the city of Fro-Il-Gur. So, it looks like we'll have a northern pass and a southern pass. Or path, not pass, but you know what I meant. I like the maps the way that they're drawn in this system, too. Alrighty, so we're at the Ice Palace. You head west to the city of Fro-Il-Gur across the harsh cold. The weather seems clear this time, and you have a warm fur to help shield you from the elements. Perfect. So travel the northern route, travel the southern route. So we can go up north, and we kind of go around the edge of the snow drift dunes, and then it looks like there's a bay or a large lake or something like that. It looks like it's hard to tell, but I feel like that might be like a bay because there's some over here. So I feel like this is like a little archipelago or something. And yeah, the game is officially back on, and they are tied 9-9. Great. Okay. And then the southern route goes through the frozen forest and then through a couple of these lakes. So I'm kind of feeling to go through the frozen forest. I feel like we could hide a little bit better than kind of just going this way. And I don't know. Snowdrift Dunes sounds a little scary to me. So we're going to go the southern route. So on here, it's D20 plus wisdom, reminder, survivalist, map and compass, and mount. So our wisdom is a +3, map and compass gives us a +2, and our mount gives us a +4. So a total of +9 to our D20 roll, but let me see if there's any other information here. So the southern route takes you through the frozen forest, where trees grow from the ground like ice crystals. Many strange life forms dwell here. A small nest of snowbats attacks you. So roll a d20 plus attack, then roll damage. Well, we did not choose the safe route. All right. Let me move some stuff here so I have space to roll. All right. Our attack is a +9, +10. And that's a 9. So we are at 19. All right, 15 or more, and you hit the snowbats. So now I need damage. I got to get out my D12. We are 2d12 plus 3. D12, D12, D12. Where are you? Okay. Alrighty. That is a 3. And another 3, so 9 damage. Wow, that wasn't very good. So if you hit and your damage roll is 11 or more, it is not. Alrighty. If you missed or the enemy did not die, they suck the warmth from you. Our armor is 9. Nope. Yes, our defense, our armor. That's weird that they said armor. It's defense on my character sheet is 19. So if your armor is 17 or more, reduce your health by 1. So we've taken 1 damage from the bats sucking the warmth from us. All right, so then time to roll our wisdom roll for traveling. So once again, it's a total of +9 to whatever I roll. And that is another 9. Weird. Okay, and we rolled the same thing on the D12 both times. Funky. Alrighty. +9, and we rolled a 9. So 18. Alright. If the result is 14 or more, you use some fallen twigs to build a fire and melt snow into fresh water. You need to consume 1 meal ration. If you do not have one, reduce your health by 1. And we are down to 1 ration. So we are officially out of meal rations, which means we will take damage if we do not get some soon. But hopefully in this village we'll get a chance to check out some of the local shops and maybe buy a couple more rations. So, alrighty, that is it. Another long update, but we had some fun things to talk about and some fun things to unbox. And I'm very happy that Kal-El is coming back with her fandom monthly box, because I've canceled over the years a lot of different various subscription boxes that I do, and her and Fortune Cookie Soap are the only ones that once I got off their waiting list, I will not ever cancel, because I just love their products so much. And I also find that, especially with her, if she does a fandom that I'm not into, I know somebody who is, so I can easily gift it or just pass it off. So definitely check her out and support her stuff. She does a lot of sewing stuff and like custom shoes and other stuff on her website. So, alrighty. The Colts just scored a field goal, so it's 12-9. But I don't know if that means the game ends. So we'll see if this is the end of the game or not, or if the Broncos get a chance. I feel like they don't get a chance, because why would they get a chance at this point? But all right, I'll see you tomorrow. I hope you all have a great Friday. Hello, happy Friday. Ignore the box. I was just going to try to get the new yarn that I got when I showed you a couple weeks ago, I think. Maybe it was just a week ago, but I have I wasn't going to go into this, but I have a binder, and I take, when I get new yarns and new colors, I take like little swatches so that I can save a little bit of colors, and then if I, want to look through and maybe test some colors or something like that, I can do that without having to go through all of my yarn. So I can have and work on color matches. So I need to do some color swatches and separate yarn into different project bags for depending on who I got it for. So that has been my goal of what to do tonight. However, it is 11:30, and after editing my wrap up earlier this afternoon when I got home from work, I laid down and I was going to read for a little bit before I watched Lord of the Rings, and I ended up falling asleep. So yeah, I am still only 45% of the way through The Fool and the Sparrow. And they're traveling through the Mojave Desert, and I'm just, I don't know. I'm really dragging through it, so I'm just going to try to push myself over the weekend to finish it and be done with it. But that probably won't be till Saturday, if not Sunday. Although I just need to finish it or just pick something else up because this is dragging on way too long. And this is why I should probably DNF, but I don't like DNFing books, which is a problem I need to deal with on myself. But I wanted to do a very quick update because it is super late. But two things I want to touch base on. I got an email the other day. I keep meaning to mention it. So Megan Van Dyke has announced that A Bargain with the Fae King is now available on Kindle Unlimited. So if you are interested in this, it's on KU now. So yay. Also, the official blurb is out for Resisting Maxu by Victoria Aveline, and it is, I'm sorry, I don't know if you can hear it. The heater just turned on. It was in the 50s today. The official release date is November 2nd. I'm so excited. Okay. And that is really all I have. I will say I did get my Halloween fortune cookie soapbox today, but because this is the Halloween box, there is a lot in this box. And I'm going to either open it during next week's vlog or just film a separate video of me unboxing this, just because there is quite a few items in this box. But so it'll be coming soon. But otherwise, let's just do the quest calendar and finish up this week. So we took the southern route through the forest. That was the wrong direction. We went from there to there. All right. So oh my gosh. So look at this guy. He is crazy. I wonder if he's a monster or a guardian, or let's see here. Before you can make it to the city, you are attacked just outside of the walls when a pile of seemingly ordinary snow and ice starts moving. A glowing mouth lets out a scream that sounds like a loud howling blizzard. It then begins to throw spears of ice at you. So it sounds like he might... it says we have to make a wisdom roll first, so he might be a demon. He might have some demon stuff in him. So let me look here. Okay, yep. So for round 1, wisdom roll to banish the demon. So we will do that first. And our wisdom, I believe, is a +3. Yes, our wisdom is a +3. Ooh, that is a 4, so only 7. So we do not banish the demon. So now we need to roll our attack damage because he is still here. So we are at a +10, and that is an 8, but that makes it 18 at least. Okay, so 17 or more, you hit the demon. Perfect. Alrighty, so damage is a 9, 10, 11, 12, plus 3, so 15 damage. If you hit and your damage roll is 14 or more, the demon is stunned this round. Perfect, so on to round 2. So wisdom roll first, and that is a 12. So we are at 15. We needed a 16 for this round, so still we're not able to banish him. But that's a 14 to attack, so plus 10 is 24. And we needed a 17 once again, so damage is 12 and 7, so we are at a 19, 20, 21, 22 damage. Okay, this says, can you see that? It says 143 damage. I'm guessing this is supposed to be 14 or 13, but we're over both of those. I'm assuming it's not 143. So I'm just going to say he's stunned because we did over 20 damage. So on to round 3. So our final wisdom roll is a 14, so we are to 17. And this round it is a 14 to banish the demon. So because our wisdom roll is 14 or more, you banish the demon back to its home realm. It is defeated. Reduce your health by 1. Gain a +1 to any future die roll. Combat is over. Alrighty, if you killed or banished the demon, collect 3 gold. Perfect. Alrighty. And that is it for the quest calendar. So we are done for this day and we are done for this week. So thank you so much for watching. I know a couple of these clips got kind of long this week, so it's gonna be another long one, but thank you so much for hanging in there. And hopefully next week I'll get some more reading done and I will finally get through this book. But I have some more kind of free time to read, which will be fun. And then the following week, my reading will be separate because we are coming up on the Love in the Night readathon. So I'm trying to read my non-paranormal romances for the month because I want to try to get through as many paranormals as I can during the Love in the Night readathon. But you'll see all that when it comes. But until then, I will see you all very soon. Like, comment, subscribe, and have a great day.